Hello and welcome back to Rimworld episode 9. We are still motoring along, building our base after our we've dealt with the engine of hatred, and now we're just focusing on expanding our base a little bit more. Always keep expanding. Our defenses are still going strong. We're going to need a much larger arsenal of weapons, preferably a couple of more miniguns. Although one thing with miniguns is they're extremely dangerous to use if you don't keep an eye on where your people are going, so good use of the old spacebar to pause things to make sure people aren't getting in the line of fire is a good thing, especially if you don't have power out there. One interesting thing about the cooking setup I have here is that I have my cooking stoves, I had them too close together, like so you can actually place them so that only one can be used at one time. You have to offset them by one block, otherwise you can't have them both used at the same time. I've reached the scale now where I actually need them. I need 2 and more cooks. So you can see me setting up some more priorities to get some cooking, more meals being generated. See, we only have 2 in our stockpile, which is not ideal really. We have tons of food, so we need to get that converted into meals. They can eat regular food, but it's just raw potatoes. But it's not. They don't like it. You get a minus stat on your people if they eat raw food. So cooking the meals is a good thing. We're just setting up our constructors. I usually have sort of little teams of people at this scale now. So you have like your cooks, and they'll fall back to cleaning or something like that. Something that's not very, very good, very important. And then you'll have your construction team, which usually consists of a couple of people, and they'll probably fall back to hauling instead. Or sometimes it's better to have dedicated haulers, so you don't have your construction be a bit odd. So basically, if you have your construction people fall back to hauling, they might construct something, then haul something. Then you've got to be careful with priorities. It's the same with mining. You don't want to have someone mine and then haul, and mine and then haul, because it tends to get kind of very inefficient very quickly. So it's nice to have specialized teams to do certain things. We're just getting ready to expand the hydroponics because we are starting to get a little low on food. You gotta keep scaling up your food production with with the size of your colony. The hydroponics bays are the best, it seems. I don't know if there's a fertilizer pump you can have, but I'm not sure if it's actually useful. I think it only turns ground that wouldn't normally be what's the word? It wouldn't normally be fertilized or whatever. Like, you couldn't grow stuff on it. So I don't know if it's actually useful or not. I don't think it increases the growth rates. And we'll get those rocks out of the way as well, hopefully. Put a floor in, make sure everyone's happy. We should be good. We'll just do our antimatter thing. Oh, another boom rat. That's going to explode. And a mechanoid. Just a single mechanoid. So these mechanoids are scythers, I guess. Skylers, whatever. I don't know what they're called. They are the worst because they basically are incredibly accurate snipers. And you see that? He just knocked that guy out instantly. Just by one shot. And he took out those turrets. And now imagine getting attacked by 4 or 5 of them. The main reason that my defenses didn't work too well in this case was because I hadn't rebuilt the door yet. and so they just basically just stood outside the door, so most of the turrets couldn't actually do their job. And that's exactly what we want to avoid, so I've rebuilt the doors. So our dumping stockpile has got a lot of stone in it, so we're producing stone again. I always try to keep about 1,000 stone. That way you can build floors and things. We do end up needing a lot of stone later, once we start building the ship. The ship takes a lot of metal. I'm not sure what the total is, but each cryopod is like 750 metal. So you need one of them for each of your colonists if you want to rescue all of them. Which is quite possible to not rescue all of them. You could keep building ships and sending people back. But I don't like to do that. I like to save up for the full ship, take everyone in one go, and we'll escape. I also, the ship, even the struts of the ship, the structural parts, like 900 each. You need at least 2 of them, or 3 in my case. No, you don't need at least 2 of them. You can do it with 1, but it's you can only have 4 or 5 if you do it right colonists on that. And the biggest piece, the reactor, is something like 2,500 metal. This is huge. Oh yeah, our defenses are working pretty well. We only lost 1 turret that time. Working pretty well. I do wonder if there's more efficient ways to do these kinds of things. Maybe if I had the area wider so that when they come in, it's harder, the more turrets can actually hit them rather than being so close. And also that maybe having the turrets further apart. It's actually why I put walls in between them so that when they explode, they don't damage the other turrets as much. So you don't get like a chain reaction where all of your turrets explode, which can be a bit bad, especially if you've got a large force attacking you. There we go, getting 1 hunter so we can start producing some fine meals, I think. See, I've selected, well, I've made a mistake because I've selected far too much, far too many muffalos. What I should have done is, oh dear. So I've accidentally gave a hunter a minigun. That's a bad thing. It's okay if you just have the 1 hunter though. But what he does do is he tends to kill way more than he's supposed to. What I found is you want to have your hunters only have M24s, the sort of sniper rifle, and have the best shooters as well. That way they're very accurate. I haven't had an accident from using M24s. Like I had 3 hunters all hunting at the same time using M24s, and I haven't had an accident yet where they shot each other. Because they're so accurate and they're good shooters as well, so they're not likely to hit each other. And we still got a guy in there and stuff, and we do seem to have this problem of collecting bones in the dumping stockpile. I don't know why. So we've got a guy here who's not doing so well. He seems to be unconscious. See, muffalos give you a ton of meat, but if you send your hunters after them, they tend to kill them all. It's kind of annoying that if the hunters accidentally kill other ones, which they weren't targeting, that they don't pick them up as well. It'd be nice if they just picked them up too. It looks like we have a guy here who is... He's incapacitated. He's got brain damage or something. So he's like in a coma. So that's 2 colonists now that we're looking after. If you remember in the last episode, we have another guy, Lincoln, who's still in bed. Yeah, you can see him down there. Just being looked after, just giving him food. It looks like we sorted out our food production issue. So we're switching some of our plant production over to make berries. I think it's berries or strawberries. So we can start producing more nicer meals. So you need meat and vegetables to make fine meals. And that gives them actually a nice buff as well. They get, I think it's like +5 to their mental state if they get fine meals. So that's a big plus to them as well. You just basically want to, you know, keep them as happy as possible. So our stockpiles are getting really full again. I find that the main problem is clothing, actually. Clothing is one of the main issues that I have. Because if you strip everyone who comes by your base, you have to make sure you burn some of the clothes, because you usually don't need all the hundreds of button-down shirts. And dusters. This is one of my pet peeves. I hope is fixed at some point. It'd be nice to be able to cancel all orders, like cancel at least all hunting orders, because it's very hard to select. Because there's a selection limit to how large you can select an area. You see, this guy's got stuck outside, and this guy's stuck outside too. Well, they're trying to go out there to get something, and there was a bit of an issue with them running out, and then you get attacked by raiders, and then they get attacked, and then you have to try and get them back before they get intercepted and killed. I've lost a couple of colonists because they got stuck outside. But we are currently looking to get that metal from that area across to the east. And I'm making a huge mistake by trying to hunt everything on the map, which is a really bad idea. I really want to get the meat stocks up so we can keep producing fine meals. It's the hardest thing with the fine meals is you can't. It'd be nice if you could set up like a ranch and have like buffaloes, like capture a buffalo and have, you know, just breed them basically. You know, you use some of your food stocks, your raw food, to like breed them and stuff. That'd be cool. Oh dear. So we're starting to get attacked by larger groups now. And more sophisticated as well. They'll have cooler weapons and stuff. So we'll try to capture as many as we can, and strip the rest, take their clothes. I think in the end we end up with everyone having cowboy hats. It's kind of a personal goal. So I still have this hunter have a minigun, which is such a bad idea. Our research is progressing pretty well. We're almost done. Well, you know, 3/4 of the way. So we're starting to gather more weapons, so I'm building more weapons ranks to store them, though it's a little bit more efficient to just make an area, a normal stockpile, but preferred storage of weapons, rather than building all of these separate things. It'd be nice if you could select multiple... Excuse me. It'd be nice if you could select multiple weapons racks and change their preference and what they can store, because usually I don't want my weapon racks to store bows and pillars, they're like spears. I don't know how to pronounce it. See them all there? We don't need them. And pistols as well. They're kind of a secondary weapon at this point. We're starting to have power issues. Oh, because of the eclipse. Because most of our power comes from solar generation at this point. We're going to start mining into this mountain to find more metal. Because we're getting quite low. See, look at that. He's just injured that guy again from that minigun. Such a bad thing. There we go. I gave him a charge rifle instead because that's a little bit more accurate than a minigun. I had someone who was about to go on a mental break because they'd spent too long outside. What can happen is if they spend a long time running around outside, they can kind of go insane from hunger. Because apparently it takes them half a day to run across the map. It's worse if they're quite slow, if they've actually had an issue with their legs or something. Or their brain. Their brain can make them slower to move as well. I guess that makes sense in some way. Yeah, this guy's still... he's not coming out of his coma. We're gonna have to do something pretty bad soon to deal with that. And Lincoln as well. They're a drain on resources. What could we possibly do with them? Uzis are quite a good weapon, you know. You have those. Basically anything that's automatic is pretty good, pretty useful. Though it's better to have your best shooters have miniguns or miniguns or M24s. Because I get I don't know for sure, but I get the feeling that the accuracy it also helps them stop what's the thing, like, oh, we lost a person, we'll re-arrest them. It also, I think it stops friendly fire, that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to find the words. Come on, almost done with our research. I think we have one more thing to research after this, and then we can start actually building the ship. We have a few dedicated researchers, I think, or maybe just the one. Very slowly progressing. We're going to sell our food stocks that we had in our trading store to get some more silver, because we want to start buying some more weapons, preferably some light machine guns. So we're going to set this one up to store certain resources. Things that we can't use, which are in our stockpile, which we can sell. Like shells especially, and missiles as well. Ah, so we have another ship that's landed. And we need to deal with this in some way, quickly. So I'm getting all of the construction done. You may realize though that I don't have a ton of metal to actually achieve this. So I'm trying to build a sort of a place where I can actually, you know, sort of box them in and then like build turrets and stuff around it so that we don't lose if we get attacked by a lot of them, we don't lose any colonists. But it's so far away, construction on this is going to take a lot longer than the one which was right outside our base. So we may have to deal with this very soon. And on top of that we have a solar flare and an eclipse, which sucks. And we're being attacked by squirrels. But it's alright, we have a lot of colonists. There, there's a lot of people that are expendable that we can use. Hopefully they just don't go insane. We might be able to build enough turrets. We've got to be careful with some of these people because they might go insane from the mining. Because the ship part is trying to make them all go insane anyway. It doesn't help that they're stuck in dark tunnels for days mining metal. So all the nearby animals have been driven insane. Which means that person's probably going to go down. Yep. Being attacked by these is when it drives all the local animals insane, you have a lot of problems. Especially if you haven't been keeping the numbers down by hunting, it's even worse. It's worse when it's muffalos, because muffalos are beasts. They have a lot of health. Very difficult to kill them all efficiently. If it's boom rats, it's even worse because they explode when they die. So we really need to start getting these things dealt with because it's increasing and someone's been driven insane. The problem with, luckily when you attack someone with melee, they don't keep trying to attack you with their weapon, which is good because most of our colonists were armed with pretty high powered weapons. And now we're being attacked by cave people. They were driven off pretty easily though. That they aren't the main worry. The main worry is that damn ship part again. Well, I guess we could technically build 2 ships if we had enough metal. So we're trying to save on resources on the build now. Trying to make it more efficient. Moving the solar panels further up so they can just be constructed faster. We just need temporary construction. We don't need anything fancy. Now trying to get more hunters or reduce the hunting down so we get more construction going. But this is me, another episode of Rimworld. So I'll see you later.